September SoMee AMA. I'm your host. Hello.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool. It takes me a moment to switch from the music to the headset.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I was digging that music, man.
I figured we'd have some music on whilst we wait.
That's nice. Very
and
cool.
Nick is here. Janus is here. I don't think I've seen a Nat D before. Welcome, Nat. Good to have you here. Who else is here,
everybody.
Chris?
Dennis Cormier, Simon Sharman, Stuart, Nick, Madam A.
Ooh, Raph is here. Stuart.
Kelly's
here. Yay.
Kelly. How's everybody doing this beautiful
Kelly
day?
just said she couldn't get in. Now she just got in.
Ah, we have the cat. The cat is here. Aaron Kessel.
The cat is indeed here.
The big cat. So how's everybody doing?
Has an announcement too.
Really? It's exciting.
Announcements are nice. I would have loved to add it to the slides.
True.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just let everybody trickle in. And Philip, kick us off when you're ready.
We were going to start in like 4 minutes, Chris.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, for the announcement, Philip, I kind of just got permission probably about like 5 minutes ago to announce. So Chris is aware of it, but I wasn't sure if we would have permission or not to announce.
No worries. All right. It's been a long week.
Yeah. You've had quite the week with everything going on. Yeah. We had a great meeting with the dev team yesterday. We'll talk about that. And
we have 27 slides this month.
Yeah, a lot of slides this month. You got a lot to cover.
Woohoo, Simon says. I'm going to have too much fun with his name. Simon says woohoo. Everybody, woohoo. All right, here. Well, it looks like people have started trickling in and we could probably get ready to start. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We are kind of a little bit lower than we normally are. We usually have around 50 people in these AMAs. We're a little bit less than that this time around, but I think that's just because we just recently put the link out there for everybody to join, and then we had it on the website too. And we really haven't been talking about it this month because we've been so busy working. I know, Chris, you have been inundated with a ton of stuff, and I have been basically nonstop talking to the SSD team all week, plus, the 2 days that I had off for my personal issues. So this month has been, really, really busy. But we do thank everybody who came to our September AMA. And much like last month's AMA, we have a new slide deck and a new format, and we are going to do things slightly differently. Let's go ahead and just present who's all going to be here today. You got myself, you've got Chris, who is our CEO and founder, and AC, who is our partnership manager. Now, I did ask if some of our developers were going to be able to come today too. I don't know if they will, but hopefully they can. If they do and they want to come up and talk, we'll give them a chance to do so as well. Mm-hmm. And let's go ahead and just talk about what our development updates are, what we have actually been working on for this entire month and for last month too, because it's been a long process. So let's just jump right into that. So as you know, this whole month, we've been working with our new developers, Seattle software developers. We've been onboarding them. And if you guys have never onboarded a development team, you can envy me because it takes for freaking ever.
It's a lot of work. My hat's off to you, Philip, because onboarding definitely is one of those things that it's just so much work, so much, follow up, discussions, meetings, reviewing the code, going through the documentation. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, but really well worth it. And
I think so. Yeah, they've done a great job so far.
they have, and they're huge on documentation. So they're actually even taking our documentation a step further.
Oh yes, we'll be talking about that here too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this last month, we've also been planning and developing our blockchain base as well as our Hive and Layer 2 integrations. Yes, people, we are doing a Layer 2 implementation for everybody for rewards. Should help reduce your costs and make life a lot easier for you to earn your rewards. We'll talk a little bit more about that later as well. We've been planning and developing our wallet functions. We went over the entire documentation scope for every wallet function with the development team. They'll be doing some new designs for us as well because there's some missing designs that the other team didn't give us. And then we're just basically starting development. And yes, we actually have started development. They actually are coding things for us right now, which is wonderful. Next week, which is October 1st, well, this week to the end of October 1st, the Seattle software devs will continue to work and develop on the blockchain and wallet functions. They've already started this and will continue throughout the month of October to actually get it working on our dev servers and hopefully in production. In October of 2021, we've got some bug fixes and wallet features that they're going to be implementing. It will be considered their first major release for us. As they know, they are a new team. So it's important that they focus on just one major feature and just a few bugs, just to make sure that they know where everything in the code is, they know where all the touch points are. So this week and next week, since we're on bi-weekly sprints, will be very important milestones for us so that we can do our releases.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love the fact that they're on bi-weekly sprints. Our last team would do, one sprint for a month, and this team is a little more dynamic, and they like to push every 2 weeks. So I think that'll just speed us up a bit.
I agree. And the one thing that we're focusing on is just a few features at a time for each of the bi-weekly sprints and making sure we get all those bug fixes and security fixes in there. As you guys know, SoMee is not a small project. It actually is a rather large project. So it has a lot of technologies involved. So making sure all of those pieces have security updates and compliance updates, that's big. So I'm glad we're on bi-weekly sprints for that. Now, one question that is always asked is, what is our marketing plan and our marketing goals? And I did decide to put this slide in here this month. We're really not going to focus on marketing in this AMA, but this is a good thing that our CMO has helped work on. We've got a basic timeline on the right-hand side, and we've got how customers become aware of SoMee, learn about SoMee, how they progress through the SoMee ecosystem, and how they stay as customers. And as you can see there is a 6-tier process for both of our marketing structure as well as a general adoption for users in the market, from awareness to discovery to evaluation, intent, purchase, and loyalty. And ultimately, we really want everybody to get down to the last 2 tiers. Who wouldn't, right? But that doesn't mean everybody's going to get down to those last 2 tiers. Everybody is going to get to that loyalty tier because they're going to love SoMee for what it does. So they find out about SoMee, they learn to begin to use SoMee, they understand what their voting power is, the power of power-ups, and hopefully some future things that we add in there, which I can't talk about. And then we remain a member of SoMee for a long period of time and spread that news to other people. And in a similar vein, we talk about what we're going to do with our marketing. And our marketing is all about the initial marketing pushes, our influencer onboarding and cross-marketing to different channels, different venues such as TV and all that good stuff as well. Retargeting, influencer evaluation with our ad share marketplace introduction and additional pushes. Our influencer ramp and our advertisers coming into the platform as well. Power up packages and advertiser evaluations to see, do we need to tweak those? Do we need to change what our IP is for marketing? And then our marketing ramp with new advertisers after that's done. All of that is scheduled between September of this year and September of next year. So we wanted to give you more of a larger idea of what the marketing plan is long term, which our CMO has said is really tight but achievable.
I just want to say, Philip, that the last one at the end of that funnel has to be Sominian.
Well, we haven't. This is just a general one. I didn't get specific yet, but when we start talking about our main marketing, which will hopefully be in October or November, our AMA that month will have a rather large portion of marketing in there. And we'll talk about the SoMeans, and we'll talk about everything else that we have in there. But right now, I just wanted to give a general overview of what our CMO is working on.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anybody have questions on this slide? This was a fun slide to make. All right, let's go on.
Looks good.
So now we're going to talk about our project update and analysis. And this is something new that we introduced last month. A lot of people are asking, what are we doing for development and what's the analysis on some of the important functions? And so some of these things that I'm already doing on the back end, I'll now make you guys aware of to add a little bit more transparency. Most of this is on the CTO side. So understanding, how I make the decisions and how Chris understands the decisions that we make and what his input is. So that's what we throw into this section here. So we've got our mobile project here. It is an Android, iOS, React Native application. There are one known bug on the Android. Some users cannot log in with the new version. We did revert that version out to the existing one that we currently have in the market. And beta users may not be able to log in because their MMFA tokens were screwed up. So in both of these situations, if you're not able to log in on the mobile Android or you can't log in because your MFA isn't working, just shoot customer service an email. We'll get that fixed for you. We know what's causing both of those, and it only affects less than 2% of our users. So the vast majority of people don't have this issue, but those of you that do, you do have a resolution. Let's go on to our desktop project. I love that Zoho just cuts off my lovely.
Yeah, it condenses it on the screen.
I swear. I mean, I do my best to make it look good, and then it puts weird things on there. But okay, this is Desktop Project T. React Foundation-based mobile and web. Known bugs. There's no major bugs right now on the desktop, which is great. Users are able to use it on mobile devices, on desktops, laptops, tablets. And it's pretty much the one that we recommend everybody use if you have an issue with the mobile application on your phones. It's completely responsive, so that you're not going to lose your capabilities, and it's just a great platform for you to use right now. And then we're going to talk about our core deliverables that we're currently working on, which is the blockchain, hashtags and mentions, bug fixes, and video on demand. As you can see there, the blockchain and hashtags are there. SSD has gone through all the required deliverables and documentation for both of those and are beginning to work on the blockchain and wallet functions. If time allows, they'll also work on the hashtags and mentions for October. We'll know a little bit more about the timeline next week, and you'll see that here in a second.
I like this team already.
Our project resources that we have available right now for responsibility. SSD will provide dedicated full-time developers, both front-end and back-end. SoMee provides dedicated full-time project manager to work with SSD. That's me, in case you didn't know. SoMee and SSD work together on providing dedicated full-time QA staff. SoMee will continue to do technical audits and reviews with the tools that we have. And then I'll continue being picky as heck on the code as well. And SoMee will continue to work with the community on initiatives and community involvement projects for governance and using community ambassadors to help plan new features and bug testing. Let me explain that last one. The reason I put that one in there is one thing that Chris has been doing with the new team, with the new marketing and the new planning meetings that we have, is that we have community ambassadors in there. People that are involved in the community, as well as people like Bejo that know very much about the social media landscape and SoMee. And we have them in these internal meetings to ensure that the community's voice is heard. And so we wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that as well. Continuing on, we're also doing new customer support services and new customer support pushes. SoMee has transitioned from Zoho Desk to a new service called Hive. It's an email with our G Suite. It's got a help desk directly into our email. It allows us to respond to your tickets immediately and have a long-term history of those tickets with you. It's just a great interface, in my opinion. It's so much easier to use than Zoho Desk. We're also looking at onboarding new customer service reps to handle the support load, since we have a rather large support load. And we're continuing to rely on the community for support, resources, ideas, and governments. Our idea will always be for community involvement in our project. Anything you want to comment on that, Chris?
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, the points are dead on. We love, the Hive integration in our G Suite. It's kind of making it easier for us to do the customer service. I want to make sure that Aaron has access to that now.
He does.
Of course. Okay. Aaron, you good on that?
Yeah, I
Now
have
that he
access
accessed
to
it with the proper email, he's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
got
mean,
one
all of
going
these
with it.
things are, you know, the back end things, being able to scale the support is really important. So having that in place, even though Zoho was decent, this made it even better for us. So I'm really
All right.
glad about that.
So, as a CTO, it's my job to make sure we do SWOT analysis. And these are important decisions that we make as a company to make sure that we're following through with our technologies, what the risks to those technologies are, what threats may possibly come up. And so this month we're talking about the blockchain because that's what we're focusing on. So we did a blockchain SWOT analysis. And of course, we have Hive and our layer 2 Hive integration. They're known projects. They've been around for a very long time. Hive was a steam of fork a long time ago and just improved it. They have millions of users, tens of thousands of RPC nodes out and around the world, so they can definitely handle the load that we give out to them.
You mean a fork of steam?
Yeah.
You
Whatever
said
I just
you
said.
said a steam of fork.
Steam of fork. Yeah, look, hey, like, it's been a long day, and I had mouth work done last Friday. Leave me alone. It does have some weaknesses that we are considering. There is a layer 2 solution, would have SoMee as their largest client, and it's unknown whether or not they're going to be able to handle our load directly. They say they can. They say they have the servers for it. But as you guys know, whenever you implement a layer 2 solution, whether it's a third-party solution or one that you're creating yourself, load is a huge thing. If there's any delay whatsoever, there might be a delay in getting your rewards in. There might be a delay in doing the swaps, and we want to avoid that. So that is a weakness that we're currently evaluating.
Something to add on to that point from my side is that that's the reason why we exceeded the Steam blockchain, and
Yes.
once we reached 1 to 2 million hits per day or transactions on that blockchain, it started to drop the transactions like crazy, and we had all kinds of issues that we were fighting with, even with the infrastructure that we had in place. And we were trying to scale up more RPC nodes, and it just wouldn't sync. And there was all kinds of issues going on the back end of that. So with Hive, we believe, and they believe, that they can handle the load easily. And so we'll see. But with that said, we're not completely building everything on that layer 2 solution, so that we're going to add other opportunities and other options later on. So that way, we're not totally reliant on just one system.
Correct. And that brings us to the opportunities that we have for Hive as well. And so Hive is actually working directly with us to monitor the number of transactions we do, increase resources as necessary. That's a great opportunity to partner with us, and they've agreed to do that, and so does the layer 2 team. And one of the threats that we have, of course, is not being able to keep up with the TPOS. It may slow down or delay the rewards that come in as we ramp to millions of users. But between the threat and the opportunity that we have to work with Hive, it is an acceptable risk for us to take and implement these two solutions.
So who is the layer 2 solution?
We're not releasing that name quite yet. It was a company decision to talk about the layer 2 solution, but we haven't agreed to implement that name out to the public probably until next month's AMA. We want to make sure 100% that we're all on the same page, our marketing goals as well as their project goals align. And so in order for us to do that, we need to do a little more talk and development to make sure it works for us. And if it does, then we'll release the name next month.
Okay. Well, nobody filled me in on the name privately, so.
You know who it is. I've already told you like 4 times, but I'll send it to you again.
Okay.
All right.
Because I have other contacts for layer 2 solutions. Like, that's
I
not
know.
a problem.
All right, moving on. Blockchain development. What have we been doing with blockchain development? Planning and developing the blockchain is done. Okay, so we already know what we're going to do. We know what endpoints we're going to implement. We know what the SST team is going to work on. Right now, they're beginning development. That's where we're currently at. Once they've done with the development, and throughout this month, we'll be doing beta testing and production pushes at the, hopefully, on a bi-weekly basis with them for these things. We have multiple development servers and multiple staging servers that they can test against, so that's going to help accelerate our plan. So I just wanted to put this in here so you understand what our cycle is with the actual blockchain development. And then something that we don't normally put into our AMAs is our tasks that we have been working on with SSD. One of the questions that we had last month is, what is SSD working on? And I really didn't want to release a lot of that information out to the public because it was onboarding month. There was so much that we were doing with them. But now I've gone ahead and I put these tasks in here, and these are the tasks that the team has been working on. And as you can see, they're working very, very hard, especially on documentation, as Chris noted earlier. Unlike the previous two teams that we had, documentation was done, but it wasn't documented at the level that SSD does. They document API calls, they document everything that must be put in place so that once it's implemented, there's no question on if something was missed. Because if it's not in the documentation, it's not getting implemented. That's how specific these guys are being. And so as you can see, Task Assist there runs several weeks. And so we've gone through all the code, we've gone through the repos, we've done the network map for them. They reviewed all that information. They've looked at the UI and UX. They set up their local environments. They've set up the local Jira that we have for them, and they're using that. And they reviewed everything that they needed to do in week 1 and week 2. In week 2 and week 3, they gave us a rough timeline on what they're going to work on for this month, which is the blockchain analysis and all that good stuff. They did their sprint planning. They looked at our DevOps process. We looked at our additional code reviews for some of the secondary microservices repos that we had. And then they started drafting initial designs for the UI UX. They're assigning tasks to work inside of our Jira so we can make sure they're staying on top of their development tasks. And now they've begun work on the blockchain integration with the UX designs. And of course, in week 3, which was last week, they were researching and investigating our layer 2 solution as well as the Hive blockchain. This weekend, last week, was finalizing questions for the blockchain, continuing the wallet documentation in Jira, annotating UI and UX items for design, providing updated sprint schedule, which we all agreed on last meeting, and onboarding new development staff, senior techs, and design team to accommodate our project. And now they are beginning on the implementation. So I think they did a fairly good job over the last 2.5 weeks. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing to see them work and to see how detail oriented they are, the detailed documentation, all the questions, all the interaction, everything that they're doing has been, 100%, one of the best teams we've worked with all time.
Now, we did make some changes to our short-term timeline here. This only changed for the ad share marketplace, just so you guys understand we're still on track with that one. We really want that done by November. We want that get that out there as soon as possible, but that all depends and is going to be determined on how fast we can implement the blockchain, because we do require them to rewrite the front end in a different technology because it's written in Angular and it needs to be rewritten in React. It doesn't take them very long. All the modules are there, but it might take them a month to do that. So we were still focusing on getting the ad share in time. But other than that, this hasn't really changed from the last one. The last time, though, we didn't show you our long-term timeline. And this long-term timeline came about because I think it was Republic that wanted to see what our long-term time was, right?
Yeah, right, correct.
And so we planned all the way out till September of 2024. Is that long-term enough for you guys? That took a while. So we've got our blockchain bugs, we've got our UI updates and fixes, we've got our MVP releases. That was the stuff that we're doing this year. And we've got our marketing pushes, our DeFi and News Center. We've got our social content moderation, additional features for the economy, our micro-learn service, multi-blockchain, data chain introduction. We've got our major group and corporate involvement, which we're not going to talk about this time around until probably next year. And then our site is online for almost 2 years by March of 2024. Our ultimate goal here, people, is to be 100% moved over within the next, what did I say, Chris, 3 to 5 years? Moved over to 100% blockchain for all core functions of the application, not just the data. And our goal is to make it an actual social blockchain-enabled social network, not just an app. So it's a long process for us. There's a lot of development and protocols to create, and that's what's going on with this long-term timeline here. Any questions on this?
Not from my side.
Cool beans. I know that we've gone through 19 slides in about 24 minutes. Understand, guys, there's a lot to go through here, so bear with me. Our next one is a very important thing that Chris is going to mostly talk about, which is our Republic release. It's an opportunity for you and the community in SoMee. Go ahead, Chris. Oh, look, Republic's release.
Yeah, Republic release. So republic.co is the actual site. And once we go live with the campaign, you just put a /SoMee on the end of it, and it'll go to our campaign page. It's going to be kicking off here maybe within the next week. We're basically waiting for the final compliance review, which is happening right now. They're filing our Form C, and that was the message that I got yesterday. So as soon as that's filed, and then they have that approved by the compliance team, it basically allows us to go live on the Republic site. So we have the whole campaign page built. There's a lot of perks that are there, so people can invest in the company and own the stock, and basically become an owner of on the stock side through Republic, and invest as little as $100, and then it goes up from there for different levels. And what we did is we made some exclusive NFTs that we're going to mint on the blockchain and send to your wallet as perks. There's other perks that are listed there, t-shirts and different things that people can come in. And so in addition to receiving their their ownership stake in the company through the stock investment, they also would receive other perks. And these are what the team put together for the different NFTs. So we have the blue at a $100 investment, I believe, and then the black, and then it goes to bronze, silver, gold, and then there's one platinum. So there's a limited amount, obviously, for each of them, but as it goes up, there obviously to platinum, there's only one of those available. So, and we will be launching these NFTs, shortly after the campaign closes, and then minting those and then delivering those to your wallet. So we may not deliver those on an Ethereum-based network. We were talking about the other networks that we wanted to deliver just to keep the gas costs down for everybody. So, but anyway, that's what we came up with for the NFTs for Republic. We're excited to go live on Republic. It's a great platform. It was created by the founders of AngelList, and it's going to be a really good campaign that we go live with. And a lot of people are asking, the differences between, if I own the governance token, SoMee, or owning stock. And really, for stockholders, there's corporate decisions that stock gives you the ability to vote on, and at the more site level is where our governance token will come into play. So those folks are going to be deciding certain decisions that are happening with development, with features, how to implement certain rules within the ecosystem. So both of them are, a form of governance as it's written out here, but one is more direct than the other as far as how the site functionality goes. So we're super excited, and this is a great opportunity for you guys to own what we think is the future of social media, and to be in on the ground floor. So we're also going to be recognizing people who give us their consent on a special page on SoMee. So people who want to be recognized will have their name and their avatar recognized on the site as early founders in the company. And there's some other really cool perks along with the NFTs and t-shirts and different things along with the ownership stake. So it's a great opportunity for us and for our community.
Do you want to tell them what I'm building this weekend?
Yeah, actually, I was going to get into it, but I didn't know if you wanted me to announce that. But we're actually putting together our own NFT marketplace that Philip has been working on. So that will be launched, and we'll have the ability to basically add that. It won't be part of SoMee as far as like integrated into our social app, but there will be a link to it as a separate kind of application that you'll be able to go to. And we're going to give you the opportunity not only to deliver your NFTs there, but for you to own, exchange, and buy and sell different NFTs.
Now, we will eventually do integration with SoMee with the marketplace, because we are going to give the ability on the app eventually for you guys to turn your photos or unique images into NFTs. And the great thing about this marketplace is that it allows us to be backwards compatible like that and transfer that information. And with this marketplace that I'm putting together, you have the ability to buy, sell, and auction off your NFTs. So it's a great way for you to just have whatever you want out there. And it is going to be initially separate, but we will eventually integrate it. And that's my project for this weekend.
Well, it's been an ongoing project, to be fair.
Yes, but the implementation is this weekend.
Yeah, but Philip's come a long way with it. So this is really exciting to see everything come together.
Is that
All
the
right.
cross-chain one that
Yeah,
you said?
so I believe that we have Polkadot.
Yeah, we got Polkadot, BSC, Ethereum. We support a few other chains as well.
I might add
It's
Cardano to that, and we're looking into it.
yeah. So there's a lot that it can do, and we'll be able to do a lot of different types of work with this type of marketplace, and that includes additional token types as well if we needed those. So the cool thing is, once it's implemented, we can make a lot of changes to help everybody out. We'll have more details on that once the implementation is done, the QA is passed, and we're ready to release it. And we'll announce that on Twitter, and we'll announce that on our site and in our Telegram group for everybody to follow.
Yeah,
Sounds
super
good.
exciting. Super exciting.
All right, let's move on to, we're going to go to Q&A, but we're going to pause this. This is like 3.5. 3.5 is not included in the slide deck because I just found out about it. So, Mr. Cat, you had an announcement.
Yeah, it's actually in regards to NFTs. We'll be partnering with Niftify, an NFT marketplace. We've been in talks with Bruno, Bruno Ver, their CEO over there, and we'll be partnering with them. And they have a lot of celebrity promotion and everything coming. So
Yeah, I think they just announced what is it, Iced.
yeah, I see.
Yeah,
And
gonna be partnered with
yeah,
Iced.
there's several more.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting partnership. We're really we've been in talks with them, and they're a great project that's bringing an excellent NFT project to the marketplace, and that'll plug and play right with what we've already implemented on our side. So it's a natural partnership, and it gives us some exciting access into cross-chain compatibility and all kinds of other interesting things that they're doing that we can take advantage of for the community and with that partnership.
Can you give the name out again, please, AC?
Niftify.
NFTFI. Okay, Niftify. There you go, Kelly. Kelly's like, I didn't hear that. All right, so that was most of our slides. We went through a ton of information, and I think we did that in a fairly good amount of time. So we've got like 27 minutes left for question and answer, which is great. So let's go ahead and go out with those. Our first question that was asked a while ago was this one. Yes, project. I don't know why that one just says hi, people.
Hi, people. Okay.
Well, hi.
Hello.
Next question.
That was an easy one.
This came from Inigo. What means major release for the new team? Said my madam on Telegram. Software release. What features? Blockchain is still planned for October. As we already explained, we are going to work with the blockchain and wallet functions this month, as well as a few bug fixes. Our main goal is to make sure that we can get those wallet functions and the main blockchain at least up by the end of this month. That is our goal. Now, that still all depends on what they come up with next week and if there's any blockers in place, but that is still our goal by the end of October. So that should answer your question on that one.
Well, his question is, Philip, in regards to what will the major release next week or the week after include in it? And that's not going to be the blockchain.
No, that's going to be blockchain and wallet functions. Now, our release that's coming this next week or the week after will still have some of those functionalities, but they may not be usable by you. The release doesn't always come to the production first. It may just be a testnet release that we're going to be doing. What we're trying to get done is bugs to get released on a bi-weekly basis as well. So if we do get bugs fixed next week, then we'll release those to production for you guys to test. If not, then at least we have our testnet capabilities up and operational the week after. Our goal here is to be able to do the bi-week releases. I'm not comfortable committing to what exact features are going to be released right now without talking to the team next week, because we know that they're mainly focusing on the wallet functions and the blockchain right now. But we do have them working on bug fixes too.
They did
and some
mention on our meeting yesterday, and I will let this slip out, is that they were targeting hashtags as one of the features to develop and get released. So in addition to the bugs that they were going to work that we had prioritized, they were going to try to grab hashtags and maybe another feature to implement right away so that the community could see the progress as they started obviously working with the blockchain and the new wallet. So that'll be exciting to see.
Does that include mentions as well, or just the hashtags?
Well, hashtags and mentions, for them, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But again, I'm not going to commit to the exact features that are coming out because A, they're a new team, they're onboarding, we've got their task lists finalized and they're working on it. But if there's any blockers that come up, it may delay it. And I don't want to have you guys sit there and go, but you promised. But I don't want to promise with a new team until we have everything ironed out. And understand, with a new team, the development cycle, which is what we want to be on right now, is in place, but it's not guaranteed. Until we know how their process is working, and until we know if they're following the process we want them to follow, our releases are going to come, but they may not be big releases that you guys are expecting. It might just be a few features or a few things that are being fixed until we can get everything ironed out. That's why I haven't released everything to you yet. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Next question comes. You mentioned blockchain with Hive in the roadmap. When can we expect the Cardano? AC, you have info on Cardano, don't you?
Where's Cardano at right now with their release? Are they
Cardano has already launched smart contracts, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we've always said we were going to integrate Hive first, and then we will integrate Cardano into our ecosystem. The reason being is that we've already started working directly with Hive months ago, and when it comes to Cardano, we were waiting on their smart contracts, so we were already in the process of integrating Hive, which is our Hive-based asset, SME, is going to be a rewards token on the network. So when we go to integrate Cardano, we're still going to keep Hive in our Hive-based token. So we're going to build on Cardano, but it's going to be
we just don't have the timeline quite yet. So, but you can expect that that's the next blockchain that we'll be integrating after we integrate Hive. So ideally October, we integrate Hive. We have that ready to release with a new wallet. And then we start adding on other blockchains and other ecosystems to give this interoperability, cross blockchain functionality for the community.
And understand, this is not a one-time thing for us. We're not going to say, hey, look, we're going to implement multi-blockchain and only do like the top 5. No, this is a long-term thing for us. So as new major blockchains come out, as blockchains start dying out of favor, all of those things get added and removed to the system. So this is something that we'll continue to develop on. Cardano, they do a lot of stuff for us, and there's a lot of features that we're waiting for them on. The smart contracts just came out. They've got some new identity stuff that we're working with them on that just came out. But until they've actually been, tested, QA'd, and working the way that they should be, we're not pushing forward with a lot of that until we have the timeline in place with them.
I am very optimistic about our SSD team. I mean, these guys are one of the oldest and most established software development teams in existence, really. I mean, they've been around since 1989. And you can actually, even though it's difficult to transition our development team, now that these guys have really got up and running and onboarded, you can see the level that they function at. And we're very fortunate to have this team working on a project. They don't take on just anybody. So I do expect that things will accelerate beyond what our previous team could do. And I'm really confident in that. So I believe that we'll be able to work quickly once they really get everything going with the sprints. I think that we're going to see a lot of progress happen fast.
Well,
But
I'm
because your
confident.
CTO is pragmatic, we start slow.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Well,
fine.
that's a good thing though. But
Yeah.
I'm confident because as soon as they come in, they say we're going to try to get mentions and hashtags in. That at like the core feature of social media. I'm confident that they're going to know what they're doing and they're going to get this done.
Well,
That's what I talked to Phil and Vadim on. I mean, they have a lot of experience with social media.
Yeah.
So we flat out told them during our onboarding meetings, if we're missing something that you think that should be there on a social media thing, we're doing that. So for us, it's a matter of utilizing their expertise and their experience, because we want to make sure that we're putting in all the features that you guys need.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they've worked on a lot of different social apps, so they have a really great depth of experience that, our previous teams didn't have, unfortunately. But this is great to have that insight, so they really know from a user experience, UI, UX, and what's to be expected. So they're going to be giving us that creative input as well.
So they're working on the UI UX now, Chris?
Yeah.
Because before we were looking at another team.
Yeah, no, they are working.
This team worked on the UI UX for major projects, and I can't name them because I can't name them, but everybody uses them. You guys are used to their UIs that they work on. And so having these guys work on our UI, we were lucky.
Yeah, very fortunate.
No, this might be the best thing to ever happen to the project, to be honest.
I think so. Yeah, honestly. I mean, change is never easy, but sometimes
input on the UI UX.
Yeah.
All right. So now our next question comes from Nat. Can you provide updates on SAT and the ads marketplace in terms of coding and development? So the ad marketplace has been coded, it has been tested, it has been looked at many times before by us. The difference is that it was written in old Angular. In other words, it was written for the other project that we had up and running.
Build.
So we need to rewrite the front end in React Native so that it's more supported on the current platform we have. That takes about a month because there's not a lot of modules there. There's just some stability changes that we have to make. So the ad marketplace, the front end is still in development. The back end and all the workable stuff is done and working, and we're happy with it. But who wants to talk about SAT?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the best thing that happened once we actually rebuild this in the React. And like Philip said, all the modules are there. So this team take about a month, rebuild the React Native part of it so that we can have an updated advertising marketplace. But it's revolutionary. This is a marketplace where it really puts you as the community in control of your private data. You get to choose what to share with advertisers. Advertisers can come in and set some rules with their campaigns. You guys can agree and just come to terms with the people that want to work with advertisers, and the advertisers want to work with the community. So that's very exciting. SAT will be in the middle of all that, and it's used within that ecosystem exclusively for the ad share marketplace. And there's some exciting things that we're doing with SAT that we don't really want to announce yet until we actually release the feature, just because we don't want any other project, ripping the idea and then trying to implement it before we do. So we're going to keep some information private in terms of how the specific functionality will work. But I can just tell you that it's a massive driver for the advertisers to advertise, and for the users who will be participating in the campaigns, and how we've designed this ad share marketplace. So we're excited to get it out there. It's just that we have to take order of operations. We onboarded a new development team that is as far as development teams go, the number one team that you could actually ever want to work with. And now that they're up and running, we're going to let them deliver our blockchain integration first, And then we have other priorities. And what we did is we went through and voted, myself, Philip, AC, and some community representatives. And we went through and took all of the features and bugs, and we prioritized them and had a point system and voted. And basically the ones that have the highest points are the ones that this development team is going to work first. And blockchain was right at the top. So first we want to get the monetization back so that everybody can get rewarded. All those who have been waiting can be compensated with the new token. And then we want to actually transition everybody and get them going on the next phase of the project. So we're really excited to get this underway and release that. It's just that we can't we can't rush things. We have to work in sequence of what we've already laid out. But everything's very well documented and very well prepared. The foundation is there for the team to take all the features and all the bugs and everything to work it out and get it going. From there, they work on the Azure Marketplace, and then that's where SAT is now used within the ecosystem on a day-to-day basis.
Next question comes from Kashmir Crypto. Will an auditor double check the tokenomics? SoMee sounds like one of those 200-part watches. Actually, we've already had auditors check both of our tokens.
Yeah. When we transitioned and when we also launched SAT, it was very well laid out in terms of how the tokenomics were there. So, and from the previous ONG token that had a 300 million supply, and we actually, launched the SoMee token at 150 million. So we had burned 150 of the ONG, but it, for some reason, back when I burned it, I just sent it to a Trezor address and destroyed the device, which wasn't the right way to do it. But the reason why I had done that at the time is that I was reading these horror stories of people burning tokens to some burn address, and then all of a sudden they were somehow used and taken. So I didn't want to get us scammed or get into any situation where we had we would make that mistake. So that's why I did it that way. But since we transitioned away from ONG and now it's the SoMee governance token, we just launched it with totally updated protocols, totally updated security features, because there's a lot that had went on since we had launched the ONG token. And so now we have this updated token, updated protocols, updated security, but with the proper supply of 150 million. So that's done.
And I believe it was who? Omniscia? They were the ones that did that for the audit?
Yeah, the audit was Omniscia. Am I saying that right, AC?
Omniscia, and they did the audit for the transfer of the token from ONG to SoMee.
Right.
But Chris, you know what you didn't do right? You should have recorded a video of yourself burning or destroying the Trezor, and then that video could have went viral.
Yeah, I mean, I should have.
Everybody would have seen that you were destroying it, and then they couldn't say anything.
Yeah, well, I know there was some people who questioned it before, and we always said, that there's no way to go back, but now it's a moot point, right? We've transitioned completely, and now the supply's there. So even though we shoulda, woulda, coulda type of thing, it was.
Well, if you decide to burn like 50 million SAT or something, now you know that
Well, now we know how to legitimately burn, and we actually wrote a burn functionality in our updated contract. So whereas our original ONG didn't have certain functions, including an official burn function. So it's just there's kind of different things that are going on now.
All right. Next question comes from Ian. Republic only for U.S. accredited investors, only for U.S. investors, or open for all?
Yeah, it's open for all, I believe. Now, Republic may end up having some limitations, but With Republic, you don't have to be an accredited investor because this is under the Jobs Act. It's a Form CF or crowd fund, so it allows anybody to come in. So what I love about it is it democratizes completely the investment opportunity, so that the little guy can come in and now own a piece of the company. But obviously, it took us a long time to get on there because they make you, really vet every company that's listed there. It's very structured, very compliant with the SEC and how it can be rolled out. But with that said, it was under the Jobs Act and introduced, and now there's an opportunity for anybody to invest. There may be some limitations, in certain countries. I'm not exactly sure about all the rules, but you can find that out on republic.co. But as far as I understand, anybody can invest. You don't have to be accredited. I think even outside the U.S., you can participate in the campaign and use even a credit card and buy the stock. So check it out, and we'll be releasing hopefully this coming week. We'll be releasing the campaign.
And I did post the link for that inside of chat as well, and what they said on that matter. So you guys should have that.
Okay.
Next question comes from Kelly. Chris, what about the funding group you mentioned previously? When will they start?
Yeah, we've already started working with them. It's Pantera Advisors. And so Alejandro Cremades and Mike Severson, they're second to none as far as a team to work with for investment. But while we're working with Republic or launching this Republic campaign, I had a meeting with Alejandro. He just said, let's do the Republic, and then let's continue our process. So what happens with Republic is because it was launched by the founders of Angel List, there's a lot of high profile investors and VCs that are looking at the campaigns, and they do add-on funding. So it's, not only does Republic expose you to a large audience of about 1 million people, but they also expose you to other VCs. So I think as we started the process with Alejandro, we're going to focus on Republic and then pick back up and see what traction they want to introduce to us through that process. But they've already, targeted a number of VCs that we're going to be talking to for our remaining round, because we have a Reg D filing, which gives us the opportunity to raise from venture capital firms. And then we have this Reg CF that's going on that authorizes us to raise a limited amount on Republic. So definitely.
What is the limited amount?
It's on Republic. It's a little over $1 million, so 1,070,000. So we expect it to go really fast, just because once you reach the first 25,000 raised on Republic, then Republic's marketing kicks in, and then they start to introduce you to their entire community. So once you reach that threshold, it goes really quick with their marketing. But nobody really knows. You can't. You don't always know exactly how quickly. Some of them go within a week they're maxed out. Some of them take a little bit longer, but I think our campaign will run. It's a standard amount of time, like 3 months. But if it maxes out sooner, then we will, of course, close it down, and there won't be any more investments accepted on that campaign. But we have our Reg D that will allow us to raise the additional capital that we're raising right now.
Brilliant. Next question comes from Inigo. There is a confirmed exact date for Republic stock start sale.
Unfortunately, they don't have a final date. The last update that I got from them, from their team, was on Friday, yesterday, and they said that our Form C was being reviewed by their legal team. So we worked with an attorney that specializes in writing these documents for the Republic campaigns. then Republic Legal has to review it. I think they were a bit backed up in terms of their workload, but we were in queue. So once that's done, then we're authorized to actually launch the campaign at any time. So we expect that to happen this week.
Great. Next question here from Inigo again. When will we know our G Fuel value, price, and tokenomics? We made a good deal changing ONG for G Fuel on 2x promotion. When will we know that?
Yep. So we'll know that exactly when the new blockchain is up, and then we are hooked into Hive, and we're going to be, compensating everybody from the previous platform that got the 2x. So, you'll basically double what you had. And on the Hive ecosystem, our Hive-based token is backed by Hive. So I think the value that will come out of that will be an increase the actual value of where we're at. But there's no way to say exactly what will happen until it happens. So
In other words, we can't see the future, but it will happen.
let me look at my crystal ball.
Next question from Kashmir again. Chris, how does it feel? Your spaceship is launching soon after years of perseverance. You stressed? Are you happy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely happy that we're at this point. It's been a lot of hard work and perseverance over the years. Definitely, but I'm feeling great. Definitely want to get it out there. There is a little bit of anxiety and stress with that because you always want to get everything set, and you want to have the community be able to use the app and have everything go smoothly and perfect. So we're getting there, and we have a great team, and everything's coming together. It's so you can kind of feel that excitement building towards that event. And one thing that I've seen with like other entrepreneurs out there is that they always talk about these days when things were still a little bit uncertain, and there was that kind of excitement because some of these entrepreneurs who have made tons of money or whatever, had massive successes. You could pick any one of the sharks on the Shark Tank, for example. They're never going to feel this feeling again because they just have a boatload of money where they could just pour into a startup, and you don't have that same kind of dynamic and energy and stress and anxiety on the companies they started. And they kind of, I've listened to some of them talk about that. So, I'm just trying to enjoy it and trying to, take it all in, but stay focused and in delivery. So we're getting there.
It took us years to find the right people for everything, and that's always what it is for any company. Is you have to find the right people, who are right for the job. I mean, like, and when you connect with certain people, you start connecting with others, and
It's true. Yeah, the people really make the company, and we have great people that are involved with us. Like AC and Philip and Bijo and Nick and Kelly and Brad, and I can go on and on.
Crow,
Ben, Alan K, Richard Lofgren, Alejandro, Mike. I mean, everybody's listed on the Republic campaign site, and we're really thankful of just the different people that have come and joined the project. But also, one of the biggest challenges has been development, because we've always had developers that either didn't deliver as they said they would, or they they delivered code that wasn't quality. And so now we're in this place where we have we know the quality of code is high. It gets scanned as it goes into our repos. We have software that does that, and there's different tools that we have. So along with the people, we have the technology, and we have Amazon Web Services. We got grants from Amazon and from IBM. So all of this stuff is kind of, over the years added to the project. And not to forget you guys, the community. You guys have been awesome and showing us a lot of grace. And we're really thankful for the community and strong community that we have, because without you guys, we couldn't have gotten here as well. So it does take, the term, it takes a village, and it really does take a village to make it all happen. So thank you for that.
Great. Next question comes from Stuart. How does the Hive blockchain differ from Steem for TPS? That's the first question. The second question is, and how many TPS do you expect per million users? Do you want to talk about how Hive and Steem differ, Chris?
For transactions per second, I figure the CTO could take that one.
I just thought I'd give you a chance.
Sure. I've been talking a lot, so go ahead and jump in if you want.
So for our previous implementation of Steem, we had our own local Steem blockchain, and that's going to be significantly based on the number of RPC nodes we have. And those are additional nodes that handle the load for the system and voting and all that good stuff. And the more nodes you have, the more TPS you can handle. So Hive, on the other hand, has tens of thousands of RPC nodes out there in the world. Lots of different partners, lots of different servers. They still operate on their 20 plus master nodes that, a typical Steem network would work on, but it's handled slightly differently. They can literally handle millions of TPS. And, traditionally we talk about how many transactions per individual user, per number of users over a period of time would equal our TPS, and can the network actually support it? With Hive, it's more elastic than that. And with a layer 2 solution we have, it's more elastic than that. It's no longer based on the number of transactions per if you want to call it transaction or user transaction. It's going to be based on the number of users sending the number of requests in at one time. We can bulk send all the requests, or we can just raw send them like we did with Steem. For us, the way that Hive works wonderfully for us is that we can do both at the same time. For our individual withdrawal requests, those are direct requests out to the to the Hive blockchain and to the layer 2 solution. So those are raw requests that go out and get resolved within 3 to 5 seconds for most users, which is wonderful. For the vast majority of upvotes, downvotes, posting on the blockchains, and most of those requests, even at 1 million users, you're looking at a little under 2,000 requests per individual user per main transaction coming out for just a few million TPOS at a time. That is a drop in the bucket for what Hive can handle. So for us, the difference between Steem and Hive is that Hive has the infrastructure, Steem does not.
Yeah, that's exciting. When we had Steem, when we forked the Steem blockchain.
Just saying.
What's that?
Had to say it. I said, had to say it. Justin's son killed Steem. Had to say it. All the Hive people support me on it. Had to say it.
Yeah, there was a split in the community. That's without dispute, of course. But aside from that, when we actually forked Steem and we had that all the infrastructure that we had, we only had a limited amount of RPC nodes. And when we tried to expand up to the recommended amount of, I think, 20, not only was it incredibly expensive, but we couldn't get the RPC nodes to actually to sync up. There was like all kinds of issues happening with the network, and it was really frustrating, and a lot of technological kind of glitches happening. And we had some of the Steem core devs working. So the guys who actually created Steem, they were working on our behalf to help us. And it was just, they couldn't get it to work. So it's interesting now that we're going to implement this solution. It just seems like it's going to be much faster, many more transactions per second in terms of scale of millions of users. And it'll give us the opportunity to do that without taking on a big infrastructure cost, because you have these, tens of thousands of RPC nodes that are being run on the network by other individuals. So we're really happy that we can take advantage of this and leverage this for not only the benefit of our company, but of the community. And that's what blockchain and decentralized economy is all about, right? So we're excited to kick this off.
And I think another way of putting that for us, another way of putting it for us as well here is, even at 2.25 billion transactions per hour, which is right around 1 million users, it's still only 625,000 TPS. For Hive, that's nothing. So for Steam, that was delays of like 3 to 5 minutes per transaction, just at that level. So for us, we're not anticipating an issue with it.
Yeah, 3-second block times, 3 to 5 second block times.
Next question came from Inigo. With new development team development and software feature releases will be faster. Yes, as we explained, we will be accelerating with this new team because they have the expertise. So we are still going to be doing the bi-weekly sprints, which means they will come out sooner than the previous team did give us. Next question came from Kelly. Once ironed out, will you notify us about when the blockchain will be enabled? Yes, for both the test net and the primary main net. Once it's out for everybody to use, you all will be notified either via an email if you guys have opted in for
I
notifications.
think we should just keep it secret, Philip.
Yeah, we can keep it secret. Everybody lies. You guys could just try to
We
figure
should
it out
just
on
keep
your
it
own.
hidden
We'll put it on,
and then turn it on, and all of a sudden people are going to see the monetization. So maybe we'll do a little surprise.
We'll put it on Twitter and Facebook for you guys too, just so you have it. Roger also posted probably an obvious question, but are you planning to integrate minting and trading the NFTs to our SoMee points as well as cross-chain currencies? Right now, the NFT marketplace that we're creating that'll allow you to mint, trade, auction, and sell is not going to be directly tied with your SoMee account. However, we are working on making those tied in, which means eventually you may be able to use your SoMee points. But for right now, those are two completely different systems, and we're keeping them separate so that we don't delay our solo application development.
Yeah. Good point.
Next question comes from Inigo. Chris, beard will be white when DeFi is working.
Yeah, it's already kind of going a little white anyway, but yeah, definitely. It's on a roadmap. I don't know where it was at in terms of the long-term plan, but
next year,
in another year, I don't think I'll be that gray in another year, so it should be okay. It's doable, and we'll see how as we accelerate development, we'll see how everything kind of plays out.
Yep, March through May of next year is the goal for that. How long time will the funding campaign run for Republic? You said 3 months?
Yeah, I think the standard is like 3 to 4 months in terms of a timing. But like I said, we're not raising that much there. So it could be it could go a week, it could go 2 weeks, and it could be sold out. We allow it at different levels, like people to come in at $100, like maybe 1,000 of those or 2,000 of those. I can't remember how we structured it, but depending on how much, how fast it goes or how many people come in and decide to participate in that, then it'll close down, before the timeline, or it could go the full 4 months. I don't know.
All right. Next question is from Yuri. We are blazing through these because we're slightly over time here, so we're going to answer these questions as they come in. Okay. I'm interested in blockchain reward system and monetization. How will the reward system be monitored so that ultimately there is stability and a bubble that could burst from an oversupply of users cashing out their rewards every day? Chris, you know better than anybody about the gravity algorithm and how it works and how our rewards would actually ultimately come out. So can you talk about the stability of the system in regards to the economy?
Yeah, so I mean, everything is, in terms of how it's going to be structured, is run by the algorithm that's already in place. And it looks at everybody who's on the network, and then there's actually a set inflation rate. So there's nothing that can actually affect that. It's all kind of in place once we release that new blockchain. So you'll see that playing out with the reward system. It's not going to be like before where we had this 1,000% APR. It's not going to be insane.
100,000. Thank you very much.
I mean, it was APR. We had a previous development team that when they released that, they didn't know what they were doing, and everybody's rewards were like insane. But it's still going to be.
Their favorite number was 18,000.
Yeah, it was insane. We all agree on that. And so it's still going to be a nice reward system. People are going to be earning from their content, from their activity on social media, on the SoMee platform, but it's going to be with a set inflation rate. And also, there's limits on how people can also cash out and I think a daily limit. So everything will be in place, and then we'll set things in motion so that it doesn't get crazy like it was before.
Cool. Next question is from Alonso. What will happen when the G full times 2 and SoMee points in digital accesses? What will happen to the G fuel times 2 and SoMee points in digital accesses?
Yeah, well,
I think it'll just, you'll get your 2x when we open up the new blockchain, and then, you'll be able to power that up, or you'll be able to, cash out according to certain limits, and life will go on.
Yep, there you go. Kelly says, ha ha ha. That's an awesome question, Kelly. Thank you. Nat, is the collab with Meet the Drapers still in play?
That's a collaboration between Republic and between the Draper. Meet the Drapers is a reality show that is basically like Shark Tank, only for the Draper family. So, we would be honored to be selected for that segment. So we'll have to see, once we go live, if they approached us and said, hey, we wanted you guys to pitch us on this. Of course, I would send Philip to go pitch.
Of course you would. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for their questions. We are about 10 minutes over our normal time here for an hour. Thank you for coming in to our September AMA. Thank you for all of your questions. We were glad to answer all of them as usual. I will get the recording out as soon as possible. Usually takes me between a few hours and a day because of all the tweaking that we do and making sure that we can make the video transcribable into other languages, so that takes time. And then we also do the captioning to make sure that we can do all that. Plus, I will post the slides for you guys on our development time blog as well. Other than that, join us next time as well. Remember, every last Saturday of the month at 10:30 p.m. Pacific, same link to register as before. It's on the development site, it's in Telegram, and of course, we just posted it today. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Aaron, and everybody else for coming, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.
Happy Saturday.